What's up, humans? Welcome back to the Human Music Podcast. I'm Luke Rain, and this is episode 80, Having Fun with Music Production. We got a question from our human, Slap Silla, over on YouTube, asking what we do to have fun with music. Turns out it also made us think about how we could be having more fun, too. We touched on how it's okay that production's not always fun, building musical friendships and community, jamming with friends, musical multitasking, leveling up production like a video game, doing mashups and remixes, the fun of completing tasks, and much more. It's a great episode. The song of the week is one we talk about a bit on this episode called Thank You Reality by Rave, which is a dojo supergroup. That's me and Rip Kenny and Nintendo and Shoes. We made a bunch of songs out when we were touring through Montana. And this is the one that's been released so far. That one, Thank You Reality. You're hearing it behind me. Please go stream that. Buy it if you like it for your DJ sets. And go ahead while you're down there looking at those links. Support our sponsors, the Breakthru Workshop, which is ill.Gates' guide to having a breakthrough on your path to becoming a music producer. And you know, once you've had the breakthroughs, music gets a lot more fun, right? And the weekly download where you can learn from ill.Gates and his private weekly group lessons and get access to over 250 more episodes in the archive for just $20 a month. And guest practices where you can learn from Seth Drake at the Approach Institute. He's the best engineer we know, and your first class over there is free. You hit up our website, thehumanmusicpodcast.com. Follow us on Twitter at humanmusicpod, or on other socials at The Human Music Podcast. All right, without further ado, let's get on into the episode, humans.
Hello, people of Earth. This is Tesco with Rip Kenny and Trap Jesus, and you're listening to the Human Music Podcast. Woo!
Human Music Podcast. I like it. All right, humans, welcome back to the Human Music Podcast. Yo, it's Luke Rain. We got Tesco. What's up, Tesco?
Yo.
We got
Gucci?
Rip Kenny in the building.
What's
Rip
good?
a building, not this building.
Good?
We record in different buildings.
I'm in a structure.
You built it. It's a building.
It's a sick structure you got there.
You know, yeah.
It's important to have good structure in your life. It
true.
keeps you dry. Keeps your mod gear dry for sure.
It's wholesome. Yeah, your Eurorack shit needs to be dry, man.
Mm-hmm.
Your patch cables look like a mad scientist's head.
Gonna make it so dry for you.
Bro, every time I use this thing, I run out of cables. And I bought 10 more the other day. If that doesn't explain to you why my shit takes forever, I don't know what will.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That and maxing out serum modulations.
Yeah, that's
stimulants
that's
and more.
That's a big one.
Gimme. I want all the mod. But yeah, today we're going to be talking based on a question we got from Slap Silla. Shouts to Slap Silla, the question king.
True.
Slap asks, what does your guys' production look like when your only goal is to have fun? Or in other words, when you're not worried about releasing or completing music-related tasks, what are you doing when you simply want to have fun and enjoy the experience? And it seemed like all our first instincts was like, I feel attacked. What do you mean have fun? I can have fun. I'm busy. There's so much to do. I gotta complete shit.
You mean it's supposed to be fun sometime other than when it sounds sick? Like when it sucks? Like, how is that? Is it possible? Is it possible to make something that's not tickling your ears and have fun? What?
Yeah, honestly, I really like that one quote where I can't remember who said it, but he's like, if it doesn't come bursting out of you, don't do it. He was like, a kid asked him advice on how to be a writer, and he's like, if you don't have to do it, don't do it.
Yeah.
That's honestly great advice. Great advice.
The advice
there are a lot of moments where you're like, this is not that fun, but it's kind of fun how unfun it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's like going on an epic journey. There's gonna be like hard ass parts, you know. but like it's still worth the
Yeah.
journey.
And it's fun
Totally.
to dedicate yourself to a skill, right? It's intrinsically motivating, especially something where you're creating. You're like adding to the world rather than like consuming. Like when you watch TV, you know, you feel less good about yourself afterwards, but when you made music, you feel better about yourself, right? It's like you're bringing stuff into the universe rather than just like consuming it. Feels good. Feels
Mhm.
good,
Yeah.
man. You know,
Maybe not
feels
everybody
good,
feels
man.
that way either, but I think that's like part of what attributes to that feeling of like, if you don't have to do it, don't do it. And I'm sure we've talked about this before. I'm sure you guys would agree that like you get a kind of uneasiness when you go a couple days, a week, 2 weeks, especially. You start to really get an itch, like man, I need to get something out. Like I need to just
Yeah.
create something. You start feeling bad. I think it's like kind of like an addiction almost, more so sometimes. Or like, I hate to make all these negative connotations and associations with music production,
about,
but a
like,
lot of the times it does
thirst?
feel like we have to.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
Yeah, it
addicted
does.
Yeah,
to
like a
drinking.
vampire needs blood. Like if right?
Yeah,
That's
something
the
like
vibe
that.
we were trying to
I need to just exsanguinate the music out of the universe. That's
I mean,
that's my goal. It's my
it's just
sustenance.
very, very strongly intrinsically motivating, right? I think
Mhm.
that's probably the most wholesome way to put it.
Yeah.
You want to do it because you really do just want to do it. You know, there's no external motivation.
Yeah. And you know, it's funny because on the one hand, yeah, like if you really want to make a go at being a musician, you have to make peace with the fact that sometimes it's not going to be that fun, but you're not going to quit.
Oh yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But also, I think this is a good wake up call for all of us to be like, okay, remember how they call it playing music, not working music, not pulling my hair out of music,
Mm,
Oh, that makes a lot more sense.
right?
does make
Playing
sense.
that part. And so, like, the other day, I got the opportunity to teach my cousin's 10-year-old kid his first production lesson. He came over here, shouts out to Benicio. He came over here with his
Hey, shout
dad,
out
Dave,
Benicio.
who actually maybe this brought me this sweet painting for the YouTube folks.
Dope.
Go check out the YouTube if you want to see this cool
That's
ass
sick.
painting
Dude, that
of a
actually is
pigeon with
fucking
4
sick.
faces. Woo!
And the colors are sick too.
Right? Super dope. Shouts out to Dito Brixon, the author. He's on Instagram at Dito Brixon. Super dope. But yeah, they came over and Benicio was so excited to be here. Like so excited just to be learning. And it reminded me of how exciting it is to even have the opportunity to do this. Like to have all these programs and this computer and all this like magic stuff that like not everybody has the opportunity to have, but like at no other time in history did anybody have the opportunity to do this kind of cool shit either. So remember to be like really grateful. And then he was having so much fun. Like we're like playing his favorite songs from his favorite video games off his iPad and then like doing little arrangement exercise. Like, okay, this is how we like, let's figure out how that melody goes. Oh, does that sound right? Ooh, not quite. Do we need to like move one of the notes? Which ones? You know, and then, okay, what happens if you move the snare over? What happens if you move the kick over? What rhythm does that make? And he was just so excited to be a part of the process and having so much fun with it that had me having so much fun just doing the fundamentals of music production that I normally just breeze through and kind of ignore. And reminded me like it's time to have fun with music. Like if it's not fun, what's the point? If it's not ever fun, what's the point? You know, it's not
Fun is a
all
fundamental.
suffering. It's not all suffering and pain to be an artist. It's also super fun.
Damn.
Yeah. Honestly, those are the best writing sessions that make the best music. Like not all of it is fun in a good writing session, but like there's consistent moments, maybe like 2 hours apart, maybe 30 minutes apart, maybe 4 hours apart. Who knows? But there are
7 minutes
consistent
max, or I
moments
quit music forever.
along that journey of making that song that are like truly fun because you like stumble on something and you like get stoked on it. And it happens more often the more time you put into building the skill. But regardless, it's the best part. You know, that's why you come back, that feeling, right?
Totally. It's like people that do like long distance running and stuff, if
Mm.
you ask them if what they do is fun, I feel like it would kind of be a similar answer in the sense that it's like, yeah, it's fun because I like this thing and I get to show up every day and get better at it and immerse myself in the world that is this thing.
Mm.
But is long distance running fun?
Well, I mean,
Enough
you could
said.
probably, yeah, I mean, you could probably equate the runner's high to like actually those few moments where you land on something sick. And it's like an amazing moment and sometimes right in the middle of a brutal stretch.
Right.
My feet are bleeding. My
Yeah.
nipples are chafed. But I wrote a good bass line.
That's
I have some very interesting studio practices I haven't told you about.
that is a funny combination.
What, chafed nips?
Put band-aids on them though to
Damn, you're really
Smooth it
going
out.
hard in the studio, eh?
Yeah, if you
I've
want
never
your
got chafed
shakers,
nips, I don't think.
if you want
feel
your
like I should push
shakers to
myself.
sound just right, you gotta rub them until they're raw.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense when my shakers don't slap like that.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody
try
go get
that
that
tonight.
spice it up percussion pack, you know what I'm saying, and the Foley pack.
Nipple Foley.
No nipples were chafed in the
Need to
making of
afford
this music.
nip reconstruction surgery for Luke.
Great.
Yeah, come
but
on,
yeah.
people.
So
Yeah,
what
how do
were
we have
saying?
fun?
Talking about
Podcast
fun,
has to be
eh?
fun too.
Yeah,
Man, one thing that's
that
really
is
helped
actually
with the
really
fun
true.
aspect.
Not taking it too serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
has to
one
be.
thing that's really helped with the fun aspect is having outlets like this where we get to show up and do stuff that's music oriented but not directly about music, connecting with people. Like, especially the older you get in life, it's harder to find the time to constantly connect with people. So any excuse to be both productive and connect with friends is awesome way to, just stay on track and keep it moving. Since I've started doing more like commercial music, like hip hop and pop, just being able to like get my regular friends to come through and make music has been an amazing way to have fun. And then also with opening the studio, working with other clients and stuff
Yeah.
is pretty cool. But man, as far as my own stuff, it's maybe a handful of times throughout the year where I'm like, I'm burnt out, or I want to write a metal track or something random, and I actually give into that. But man, I don't know. I hate to sound like the dude with the stick up his butt, but fun is like 15th on my list of things to get done when I step into the studio. I hate to say. So it's like, I don't know. Honestly, the first time you read that comment out loud, it was just kind of funny to hear it because I was like, oh, yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
I mean,
easy to deprioritize when you have like deadlines and goals and all that shit, but maybe it should just like hop back up the list to like number one, like not take yourself too seriously, be down to like jam the goofy ditty on the guitar, or just like kick with your friend that doesn't make music that often and just like freestyle rap with them hella bad, like shit like that. Like that shit can be amazing.
yeah, honestly, like you said, both of you, like when you have your friends over and like just shitting around, like you make a rap beat and then all like do hooks and verses and stuff, even if you like everyone in the crew, even if you're the best rapper or the absolute worst, everyone still has fun.
Yeah.
And it's like just like like you said, a really fun experience. One other thing that I found to be fun, like also in the spirit of like being productive, like you just said, because I deal with the same shit, like getting shit done that I know needs to get done, for even if it's just working on a song, mixing it down, something that's not fun, like takes priority in like in that world, right? But one thing that I have found to be really fun is if you're on the couch, like watching TV with your significant other or whatever, or even just hanging out by yourself, and you find yourself starting to get a little disinterested, like pop open the laptop, throw just one earbud in and like write a piano melody or something. You know, it's like, because you can just export that MIDI file to your desktop, or if you use the same computer, even better. But like, it's just like an easy, like, because like you said, that thirst to like want to like produce sometimes just like hits you, and it sounds more fun to sit there and give 60% of your attention to writing a piano thing and 40% to watching TV and, otherwise not being productive. It just sounds better, right? It sounds like the better alternative.
Yeah. Yeah, that's huge, man. And we talked a bit about this before, but I think that's one thing that definitely helps me not burn out. And even though it's funny, because when I think of writing sessions, I don't think of fun per se, as much as I love doing them. But when it comes to like days throughout the week or times when I don't have as much time to write, that is like such a good way to keep things fun and light and not too energy intensive, and like really helps me not burn out and look forward more to the writing days when, I can watch that show that I keep hearing about and I don't have to feel bad about taking time off or whatever. And again, maybe some people don't have this feeling, but I personally feel really bad when I'm not doing shit. So my compromise is to find fun shit to do, like sound design, like sample organization, like making loops, all of that kind of easy, fun, creative stuff while I'm like, watching something in the background, a movie, catching up on something, just pulling in inspiration from whatever cool show on Netflix, whether it's just through visuals or the story or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, it actually makes a lot of sense. Like, I like this combo of like multitasking at music and then like, or multitasking watching TV and then like jamming on like simple to complete musical tasks where it's not like, okay, cool, I got a piano melody, now I have a million steps before I can feel good about myself. It's like, nope, just piano melodies in MIDI, just MIDI files, or just pick a cool patch, write a line, export. Pick a cool patch, write a line, export. Because like that way, like you're setting yourself up for future success. So you get that serotonin hit of like the nighttime session organization shit. You're actually writing and you've set your goal small and incremental of doing the same task a bunch of times. So you get that serotonin hit over and over, and you get to watch that TV without the guilt hit of like, oh man, I'm doing nothing but watching TV. Yeah. Although I don't know, I've been better at not beating myself up about that one. It's like, nope, sometimes I need to get away from the computer and go on the couch. I've been here for so long, I need to go over there real quick.
I definitely feel like this year I've been letting up a bit more and feeling a bit more guilt-free about certain things like that. But yeah, it definitely is a huge factor. I think one thing too, maybe people might not relate with this as much if you're still in your first couple of years of making music. But, I think we're all at the point where we've fully submitted to this in life and are fully invested in, dedicating a lot of time and energy and all that into making this come to fruition. So it's like any little moment you can find that you could take advantage of is a step closer to like achieving your vision. So a huge part of what makes it fun is like the setting up of like goals in the future that you want to accomplish, and like seeing the bigger vision and breaking it down into steps and executing on those steps. It makes it a lot more enticing to do like sound design while you're watching TV and to do all these other things instead of just straight up watching TV or straight up playing video games or whatever, because now there's something deeper that's driving that. When you do this thing, you will be able to do this thing, which means you're able to do this thing, which means you're able to do this thing. And that kind of chain, it's like, man, for the gamers, right? It's like you do the side quest to unlock the next side quest, which unlocks this area, which unlocks this weapon you can get to beat this boss here, which gets you access to this area, blah 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 blah, and then you get the cool armor set, and it's like
shout out Witcher
the
3.
album. Shout out Witcher series, just dope in general.
Yeah,
but that the completion of the game basically is your album writing process, or your whatever, and your skill trees like attack and defense and int and agility and all that is like your sound design and your arrangement and your blah 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 blah.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. And it's like when you identify those weak areas, what do you do in the game? You grind on the enemies until you can get to where you're trying to get to. And it's like same with the production stuff. If you know, like, right, let's say RuneScape. Super used to fuck with RuneScape in the day. But what would I do oftentimes when training skills? It's like when I was a kid, I'd be watching some anime or something, or I'd be watching something on TV and then chopping logs in the background or whatever. And you're just kind of absent-mindedly there while you're doing these tasks. And it's like, same with music in a sense. Obviously, it's better if you're fully aware, but if you know that you need to write at least 500 more songs until you start creating something you're really proud of and you start getting closer to your sound and blah, 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 how is it any different than chopping 500 logs in RuneScape? It's like the same shit. Like, just get them out of the way. And even if you half-ass all of them, which I hope you don't, but even if you do, you'll still pick up a trick at least from each of those songs. And you don't think 500 realizations later that you're going to be a better artist and get closer to that bigger vision. So but I think it all falls apart without the bigger vision. Like, what are you trying to do? Like, are you trying to be a festival artist? Are you trying to just get on stage and rock crowds? Are you trying to change people's lives? Are you trying to make really in-depth kind of healing music? Blah, blah, blah. If you really define what your goals are in that sense, then it'll be a lot more clear on why you should prioritize music over other tasks, right?
Right. Or you could just do it for fun.
Or, don't listen to us, crazy bunch.
It's like the dichotomy of that is not as strong as that statement presented, but it is kind of like that. You know, it's like you will know which side you're on. You just will. It's embedded in you. Either you feel the urge to pull that computer out and chop logs, or you just
pull that
or you
axe
just
out
do
and
it.
Shop your computer.
Yeah,
I'm done.
Or you just pull out the laptop to produce on occasion because it's fun, right? You'll know which one you are.
Yeah, and just because you're at one place doesn't mean you'll always be there either.
Yeah, totally.
Sometimes you'll be very chill about it, and then you'll get a bug up your butt and start ramping up, and all of a sudden you realize, damn, I've done this every day for a month. This is great. And other times you'll do it every day for a month and realize that your priorities are not quite working out for you. And you know what? I need to take a break because I'm not having fun with this. Let me stop and figure out which part of it I'm missing. And I'll go do that more because I'm not happy. Because honestly, that's kind of where I ran into in June. I was working so hard on this batch of songs that I kind of burnt myself out on them and writing. And I was like, you know what? Let me go do more fun shit. What do I actually want to do? I want to practice DJing. I want to, I want to do some other shit. And I took a little break from writing, and then I started doing some other shit. And then now I'm back to writing and having a blast with it again because I took a little break, So, sometimes you just got to go live outside a bit. We've talked about that on the podcast too. Go live some life. You're feeling uninspired. Go live life and have fun outside the studio and bring that fun back. Go for a fucking hike.
Yeah,
hug a tree.
Get your
bitch.
trusty jar, capture some outside fun, and bring it back.
Just go see some new shit. Just new stimuli, new things to make better music. That's the way it works. That's
Again,
science.
It leads back to the music.
Science.
It's like
Science.
Everything you do in some way connects to the music. I'm going to go outside and have fun so that I can get samples for my next song. And I'm going to have friends so that I can network. And I'm going to release this music so that I can be happy and get on stage.
It is fun getting on stage.
At varying degrees and all of those, some of those are like 0.001%, but if music is the center of your life, it finds a way into pretty much everything you think or do.
That's true.
Yeah. I think it's I mean, it's very important to me. I'll say that. It definitely doesn't mean it needs to be for everybody, but having a main center focus or whatever is really helpful for my sanity personally. Can imagine it being very helpful, whatever it is, whether you're into martial arts or collecting bugs and sticks and stamps.
Exactly.
Like, just have something you're passionate about that you can
bugs, sticks, and stamps. That classic combo.
Well, you know.
You need the stamps to stick the bug to the stick in your little terrarium. Just fold it in half and lick it and stick each one. Lifelike.
True. Yeah. If you're into that shit, get all the little buggy boys.
Yeah. So let's talk about some shit that has been fun for us lately. You know, even if it wasn't something we set out, it's like, oh, I'm gonna go have fun right now. It's like when you have fun. Like for me, last night I was adding some tracks to my DJ collection, and I was adding Cryptochronica's song Kung Fu from the Kung Fu Cypher, along with the rest of that EP, adding it to my collection and setting cue points. And I was listening, and I was like, ooh, I got an idea. And I went and I found everybody was Kung Fu fighting. I scoured YouTube for the highest quality version and downloaded it, and ended up making my first track in Ableton actually last night, which was funner than I thought it would be. I only had to Google a few how to do shits.
Nice.
How the fuck do I get automation lanes? Oh, that was easy.
Hey.
Oh, that one button.
Yeah, that one button. And ended up making it really cool and got to mess with I specifically opened it in Ableton so I could mess with repitch mode to like slow down the sample while I stretched it, because it was like 17 beats different BPM or something. I was like, I think that's gonna give me some artifacts. But I had a blast doing it just because it was way easier than writing a whole song. Just taking two songs that I already liked and being like, okay, cool. Yeah, I'll use the intro and the chorus of this song and then make a little build up by chopping up elements of both songs and then drop into this sick ass drop that already exists and I don't have to do shit to, and then make a little outro, stack of things. It's been a few hours. And I'm like, I could probably play this out tomorrow.
Yeah.
That was really fun.
Yeah, that's fun. Dude, honestly, that reminds me of when we were on tour in Montana with Shoes and Nintendo, and we were making music that entire week. Like we would just, if we had a show, we probably would wake up late the next day, but like every other waking hour we were spent in front of the computer just having fun making music. Like we made 4 songs in like 6 days and like mastered them and played them at the last 2 shows of our thing.
Because we made all of those in Bozeman before we went to Missoula or Symes.
Yeah, exactly. And that shit was just fun, man. We would just sit there and like take like probably 30-minute turns, like all 4 of us just sitting there like actually paying attention and like giving suggestions, and then like, you know, just other people were like playing on synths and stuff. Like Luke was over there on the keys just busting out melodies, and I was on the back. I was in the back. I was like not paying attention at the time. I was like on my phone or something. And he plays something and I look up from my phone and he's already looking straight at me. And I'm like, yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
There was that moment. And then the one where you looked up for your whatever you were working on. It was like, Luke, can you roll another J? And I turned around with the one in my mouth with the lighter, like about to flick it. Yes.
I'm on it. I'm more on it than you know.
Yeah, shouts to the one of those 4 songs that's out already. Thank You Reality by Rave Gravy. That came out on Producer Dojo. We started an alias. Cypher.
We started an alias purely because we were so productive in making music and finishing it. We're like, okay, well now we have music to put out. We might as well come up with a name.
Yep. And then COVID happened and we haven't been all in the same place since.
Yep.
I've seen Evan once, and I've seen Spencer, I think twice, maybe 3 times since then. You know, Haven't gotten out to Montana to see Tyson yet, but shouts to Tyson. Nintendo.
Yo, we need him on this. We need him on this
the podcast.
frickin'
I
podcast.
feel like
Yeah.
you've been
What
saying
the
that like
what
quite
the
a bit.
F? Him and Shoes. Dude,
Yeah.
both of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I talked to Shoes about it the other day. He's super down.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So turns out mashups and remixes are fun. You get, a lot more mileage out of them than you would like trying to push your original song for a lot less effort. And you have something for your DJ set that nobody else has, or you can put something on YouTube and SoundCloud that's going to get a lot of more accidental, like cold traffic to your page just because somebody type in Kung Fu Fighting remix. Like, oh, hey, yeah, dubstep remix. Nice.
Yeah.
Who's this Luke Rain guy? I don't know, but I'll follow.
Yeah, exactly.
One more impression.
That's such a good model too, especially if you're, still trying to learn production and, you're mainly DJing. Like, I'd highly suggest just doing a bunch of tracks like that. Put the ego to the side of it. Realize that a lot goes into making a track like that, and you can still have a lot of fun making songs that are going to get an amazing reaction and have a blast doing it if you set the full originals to the side and you start doing more mashups, remixes, flips, bootlegs, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, honestly, that's how I started getting interested in production at all. Like I literally had like a little Newmark mix track mixer and I like learned how to DJ on it, and then I would just mash songs up and record them in virtual DJ, and then like obviously you're like, oh, this is cool, so then you play it and people are like, oh, this is sick, dude, what is this? And I'm like, oh, I just like threw these 2 songs together. Like, oh, you made this is sick. And then you're like, huh, maybe I should maybe I should get Ableton and try that thing. And then you do, and then you become addicted.
Yep. Exactly. It's funny.
And
I
then
kind
you
of
find yourself not having fun.
Yeah.
That's this. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to That's why
It
we
all
got to
starts
have
with
these
the first remix.
these
Not even once.
You got to go back to the remix. You got to go back around to the fun, easy stuff that of course, we're going to do hard stuff that gets us frustrated because we're pushing our boundaries. But we don't always have to redline. It's not always about driving around at 6,000 RPM just because your fucking meter goes there. Sometimes just coasting along at 2.5 gets you where you're going just the same.
205 still pretty quick.
I'm at 2.5 thousand RPMs.
2,500
RPMs. Yeah, whatever. Whatever I'm saying, I'm saying, you know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean. I mean,
you're not idling, but you're doing the amount of effort necessary to keep going at high speed with the least effort.
There's a concept called minimum effective dose, and it's used a lot in medication or like fitness and working out. Like,
you have literally stumbled upon my philosophy to life.
Yeah.
It is basically the most overarching way to win is do the least amount of work possible to get the maximum result every time. A great example is like, school. Like if you have a class and they're like the homework is worth 60%, the tests are 20, and this is like, then you're like, okay, so if I do all the homeworks, I'm basically there. And then I wouldn't really have to study for the test because I already got that. So then I just need enough to get that. But like you're not shooting for anything less than an A. Like if you accomplish all that shit, you get an A, and then like don't do anything else. Like don't put too much effort into something else. Like that's just kind of a quick example of like how you could. And if you do that repeatedly, it means you can get more A's across all of your classes rather than like, just get an A in this one. And then others sink because you diverted too much time into the others. Just do the minimum amount required to get the best result.
So how about that Rip Kenny album, eh?
That's considerably more.
That is the minimum
effort.
Yeah, that's also where my mind went.
I mean, I
this
wish
is my life philosophy, except on the thing I'm mostly surrounded.
Well, actually, even though like it actually is true though. Like I will try and take shortcuts and shit. And like when you're doing a rough thing, like you don't put that much time into it, but then like the minimum amount required to get the best result goes up as you like set your bar higher, right? So you're still accomplishing that, but you just have a higher minimum.
Yeah, no, I
So-
feel you on that. I've kind of changed my like draft, how I do my drafts of songs from earlier this year, where I would like try and get to as many drafts as I could, get some more feedback, send it to another homie or a mentor, get some feedback, do another draft. And then I realized, like, man, I don't even want to hear any of these songs anymore because I've heard them so many times and changed them so many times. I don't even know what they mean to me. And now I'm more on like, okay, like write the song when I feel it and then let it sit for a week. Really like figure out like what I feel about it. Like which parts do I really definitely like? Which parts do I definitely want to change? If I only hear it once and think I might want to change and never hear that again, I probably didn't need to make that change. But
Dude,
if every time I listen to it, I'm like, yep, definitely got to re-record that line. Like, yeah, then you got to re-record that line.
Yeah, but that's a great example of when it's tough and not fun, is when you're beating your head against the wall on a track. Honestly, that has been a really fucking tough part of writing an album that has a story that goes along with it, because you have a song that you love or really like parts of, and then you're like, and this fits so good in the story. Like, I don't think I could write a better song, but this second drop just needs to be rewritten. Like, I've found that, dude, I've had to like push myself to fucking just like, okay, it's going to take longer. You're going to have to take more breaks. You're going to have to come to it 2 hours a day for 2 weeks instead of 8 hours in one day, because you're just going to miss the point. But like, you can put like rewrite that second drop if you need to. Like, you just got to take more time to do it. Which I think also is a helpful reminder for when it's not fun. Like, you can still push through that shit and get to your desired result. You just got to be a bit more tactical with it.
Yeah, and you also got to ask yourself, like, what do you want more? To have fun for a few hours, or to have this thing that you can take with you for the rest of your life that makes people feel some kind of way? And, man, like, part of it is sacrifice too. Like, definitely make sure the process is fun and have fun doing it. But if you're trying to take it, further than just being a hobbyist, which if you're not is totally cool, by the way, and disregard everything I'm about to say. But if you're trying to be more than just a hobbyist, like, guess what? It's not going to be that fun always. And you might have to sell some of your fun to get what you want in return. Yeah. And then you'll have a lot of fun once you have that thing. Obviously don't get stuck in the trap, but like also don't get stuck in the trap of always having fun and never sacrificing any fun. There's
and like the light at the end of the tunnel is that when you do push through that thing that sucked and was not fun, and you get to the end and it sounds good, that feeling is fun. So then you come back to it and you're like, fuck yeah, I like finally got this right after you've had 10 versions. Like, that is also fun. So you can push through it back to fun. Yeah. But you got to push through it.
Totally. I completely agree with that. The completing shit is so fun. Like, actually being oh my God, this song is done. It's coming out. Oh, yes. That feels good. Yeah. Getting it out in the world feels good. Like, getting to play it at a show and see people react feels good. Getting to hear it over a PA bumping in a room or outdoors at a festival, whatever. Just getting to hear it, see it move people. Like, that shit is fun. And it's fun to DJ for people when it's somebody else's songs that you just really like. And you're like, oh, you don't know this one, do you? And watch everybody start, oh, yeah, it's my jam now. Right? That's fun. If you get to do that with your own song, that's like another level. Yeah. But also, funnily enough, it is sometimes the opposite. Sometimes it's way more fun to just play other people's music, because when you play your own, you're sitting there like, is it good enough? Are they dancing hard enough? Were they supposed to dance harder or the same? Are they dancing the same? Maybe it's less. Like, shut up and enjoy the music.
If it's less, have I wasted all this time and gone down the wrong path for so long? It's definitely a risk, but like you said, the reward of actually having someone or multiple people enjoy the thing that you created, that's really fun. Yeah. That's really fun.
Amen.
That's a blast.
Woo! Well, I guess that's how we have fun.
I mean, that's
we don't until we do.
And then
You
we
don't
do
until you
again
do.
until we don't. In which case, then we do the don't again until we do.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So accurate.
Remember what I said.
Yeah, those
You
are
can quote me on that.
Don't you forget.
good
Get a
words,
tattoo.
one after the other.
Well, all right, humans. That's a bow on
All
that
right.
beautiful conversation. Peace out. And peace among worlds.
World is.
All right, humans. Thank you so much for being here. Highly appreciate you as always. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Human Music Pod and on other socials at The Human Music Podcast. You can hit up thehumanmusicpodcast.com, or if you want links to our socials, we got some free sound packs up there as well. And remember, the song of the week is Rave Gravy, Thank You Reality, some kickin' drum and bass by me and the homies. And those links are down below, along with links to our sponsors, the Breakthru Workshop. That's ill.Gates' guide to having a breakthrough on your path to becoming a music producer. This was the first thing I ever watched of ill.Gates, and it helped so much, and it was so dope. It actually convinced me to take the next step and join the producer dojo once I had learned that first workshop's worth of stuff, because I could tell there was so much more. Part of what's more is the weekly download, where you can learn from ill.Gates and his private weekly group lessons and get access to over 250 more episodes in the archive for just $20 a month. Insane deal to get so many categorized lessons directly from ill.Gates. And guest practices where you can learn from Seth Drake at the Approach Institute. He's like the best engineer we know, and your first class over there is free. Nothing to lose. Well, all right, humans, till next week, peace out. Peace among worlds.
I like it.